Okay, so let's say you have an item that is fragile, and you're afraid that if you push it into the compact clay, that you're going to run the risk of breaking it. So here's what you do. You want to take and really break up your clay. Get all the little clumps out of it. Make it so it's kind of powdery like this. And then what you want to do is you want to take your piece. It could be a ring, it could be a pendant, whatever. And you want to determine where it's going to, if it sits on the block, you don't want it to tip too much. So if I put it this way, it's probably going to tip a little more than if I put it this way. So once I determine this, then I take talc and I talc the top of the item, the part that's facing up, and I set it down on the block. So now I take the side of my flask that has the edge on it. We got the sprue right here. If you don't have a sprue, just pick the area where the sprue is going to be at to face towards the hole. Okay, so set that down like that. Line it up so that the sprue is going to be running right down the center of your hole. And then take and just kind of sprinkle that in there. Hold on to the flask. Push lightly straight down. A dowel works great. Tart tamper, if you know what that is, those work really good. And push it down tightly, but don't push too hard. I mean, obviously you don't want to break whatever it is you're putting in there, but push just hard enough that you're pretty sure you're not going to break it. And then check it before you go any farther. So I can see that I got this lined up really well. So I can turn it back over and I can add more. There's nothing worse than filling this all the way up and then finding out that the piece shifted. So I like to check it in the middle just to make sure. Push that down really good. Take more. Now you don't really have to hammer this. You could a little bit, but it just depends on how fragile your piece is. Okay, then you want to scrape the excess off. Okay, at this point you can turn it over. You can look at it again. Now you're going to want to take and remove any excess clay that's on the lip here. When the two halves go together, you want them to be nice and flush. So at this stage, you're going to take like a bench knife and you're going to cut around the piece. And you just want to cut around so that you're at about right on the edge. And you're kind of creating a little shallow moat, kind of. Now, normally I would say take your time on this. I'm going to try and speed it up for the video. Do it all the way around. A little paintbrush would be nice. You could brush this off. Now you don't want to cut under the piece because then you're going to create a negative area. So you just want to cut it to the edge. There we go. Yeah, a little brush would be great. Now you want to take your talc. You want to talc this. Take your other side. Fit it on top. Now take some of the fluffy clay, drop it down in there, and lightly press it down around your pattern. Once you get it filled up like this, take your straight edge, clean it off. Pick that up, clean that off, and I like to set it down, pull it straight apart. So now we have a great impression here. Start on this side. Make sure there's no clay on the inside here, on this little channel. Take your thumb, create your funnel. Might want to make the sprue a little better, a little deeper. Round the corners of the sprue. So that side is really good and it's done. Now we'd come over to this side. You can pop up your pattern. Use the thumb. Make the funnel. Make sure the sprue is nice and clean. Round the edges near the sprue, or at the where the metal goes in. And so now we take and make our vents. Push down, pull back. So the vents are used so that if you have air and gases that build up, they can escape. I suggest to use all the vents. You don't always have to, but if you got them, you might as well. On smaller items like this, I like to take the back side of a scalpel to finish off my vents so that they're not quite so thick when they come into the mold. Make sure they're not obstructed. Air and gases need to be able to escape. If they can't escape, you probably won't get your casting. And if I'm really doing this to make a nice piece, I'll sit at the bench, take my time. Make sure these are perfect. So right now, this is all ready to go. I didn't hurt my piece. And I don't know if we need to do another video. I really just wanted to show you how to set something up that has a fragile piece. And this is how you do it. All right. Thank you.